they want to make sure there was enough room to bring people over.
Sorry, keep going. I'm trying to do both. I can't do both. Here, I'll let you do
We're trying to remember so we don't forget.
And
Yeah.
anyway, Adele was born there, and I don't know. I think it. I don't know exactly, but I think maybe a year or two after Adele was born, the Lil and Abe were brought to New York.
Abe? Is his name?
Abe, that's right. My bad. It is Abe.
No, but they called him Eddie.
Yeah, they called him Eddie.
They called him Eddie, but his name
true.
He
is
didn't like
Abe.
Abraham.
He never liked Abraham.
Interesting. I knew that they called him Eddie and that he had a different name, but I didn't know that it was Abraham. Wow.
Okay.
And anyway, so they came, and there was room for them.
So,
And then maybe a year
How
later-
old would you have been at that point? 2?
What?
How old were you when they
I'm
came?
not sure.
Yeah, young, little.
Maybe 6, 7, other.
Oh, wow. Wow. But then you grew up together from that point on.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
but Molly was. How old was was Molly living with you then?
I don't know. You have a death certificate.
That's true.
You could figure it out.
Mm.
You don't remember much about Molly?
Yeah, Molly lived with us. But by then she was
Much older.
she wasn't a child.
Yeah.
She was a grown woman.
Yeah. So grandma, my grandma, Lil, your sister Lil, was very, very close with Eddie.
Was very close.
With Eddie. They were very
Yeah.
close. My father got the middle name Edward.
Mm-hmm.
And she always talked about you. She talked a lot about Molly too, but she never talked about Adele that I can remember. There was a big age difference maybe between Lil and Adele? It had to have been at least 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, that's life.
Yes, yes. And then your father was happy and
Well, but my father had the same job in New York till he died.
yeah.
And he was a sheet metal worker.
Wow.
And so all during the Depression, we didn't have much money, but at least we had food on the table every
Yes.
day.
Yes.
And that was important.
Yes.
Why does it say on his death certificate?
What?
Why does it say on his death certificate that his occupation was a tinsmith?
Well, that's what they call the sheet metal worker.
Oh, okay.
That's the
All
same
right.
thing.
All right. I just wanted to make sure. I wish I had the certificate with me.
Sometimes it was what they called the job at work. They,
Mhm. Yeah.
but it doesn't matter. That's what he was. And he worked for a milk company, Sheffield Farms.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting because when I moved to Boston, the house that I was renting an apartment on the first floor of a house, and it was formerly a dairy. And so I started a collection of old antique milk bottles because I had a glass hutch like this. And I started a collection of old antique milk bottles that would fill the hutch the old creamery
wow.
bottles, and I didn't know I had any connection to
Yeah.
milk in my family line.
Hmm.
That's very interesting. Sheffield, interesting.
Huh. Okay.
Wow.
Dad, what years were Lil and Eddie living with the Weintraubs? What years? What year was that?
That
When
what?
he was here, when my grandfather was here in Detroit, what year was that?
My father?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same person.
Well, it was after World War One,
Okay.
and that means it was either in 1918 or 1919.
Mm-hmm.
And how long
And my father had to work fast because I was born in March of 1920.
20. So
So you,
no, but when
I-
did his wife commit suicide? What year was that?
what?
When did his wife commit suicide?
I don't know. It was during the war.
When she was alone with the two kids. But that happened in Romania or here in America?
No, that would happen in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh. So,
While he was working, and that's why the Weintraubs became such good friends. He couldn't raise the kids himself
yes.
while he's working, and with nobody else to take care of them. So my father figured he'd collect them sometime,
Yes.
but first he got to get himself settled.
Yes.
And well, he did the best he could.
So, when, of course, he did an amazing job. and when Rebecca and he got married, it makes so much sense now that I got the R, because Rebecca was the savior.
Yeah.
Your mother was the angel savior that made it possible for him to have Lil and Molly and Eddie come back,
Yeah.
because I got the R, Randy, for Rebecca. I was named after Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
And I always wanted to know more about Rebecca. I've actually never seen pictures of Rebecca until last night.
I showed her some pictures of her.
Yeah. Beautiful woman.
Yeah, well,
Your mom. Yeah.
She did a good job. I mean, Lil was pretty good. There were problems with Eddie.
Oh.
He hung around with gangs,
Oh.
That's not.
and